Okay, I ran into a little difficulty because when I was working on it earlier, I think I had bent this linkage and shortened it, so this thing was not behaving right. So let me kind of redo what I've already done so you'll see. I did drill that out a little bit just so the linkage fits in there a little easier. And you know, you angle you hold the tank and the carburetor at the same time with the tank kind of out here, and you angle it under. You angle it under the L there. So you're holding the tank out here and the carburetor's up here, and you turn it so it slides on that L, and you can see now it's moving like it's supposed to. It was not earlier because I'd mushed this long linkage here to the automatic governor, kind of bent it or something. So that's where we are now. Everything looks okay. Like I said earlier, often these things don't prime because this plate warps. But I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope that it's okay. If not, I'll just take it off and we'll do that together. So let me, let's go ahead and put the rewinder on. So you got to put the rewinder on before you get the tank on. So all this is okay. These things often bind right here because there's a nub that gets stuck, and sometimes you have to pry it out a little bit with a screwdriver or something to get it to sit down. There we go. And then that's all going to be okay now. Now I don't want to make the same mistake that the previous guy did when he went in here. See that, how that's sticking out? You want those ears under. Yeah, I'll show you. Let me set the camera down so you can see it. This is not focusing well at all. I'm not sure, sometimes my camera does that. What's the deal here? Let me take it and walk it out here and see what's going on. Yeah, everything's fuzzy. That's a little better. Why is that fuzzy? I guess I'm just too far away. That's clear. Well, maybe it's not as bad as I think. So, okay. So what I need to do is make sure that these two ears here go under the rewinder and the big one is on the outside. Okay, because you want this little piece to be stable. If you get it all inside, the magnet will actually pull it in. I've had that happen before. It goes clunk, clunk, clunk as it's hitting it. Okay, so that's all looking good. Now we've got to attach our 4 3/8 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the linkage that was on there. See how I bent that, and it's too short now. So I had one laying around. I mean, I could stretch that one out, but I just didn't feel like messing with it. All right, so let's get this little screw up front started. Often what happens now is people forget to put the dipstick back on. Then they got to take all this stuff back off. So I'm getting these 3/8 head screws. There's 4 of them started. 2 in the back and 2 in the front. At least get them started. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and swing my dipstick tube around. I'll show you doing that. So you don't want to forget this, because this has got to be in place for everything to work right. Oh, there we go. See, it popped out, so I'm glad I kind of cleaned around it. All right, so now I got to find one of the 5/16 shoulder bolts. Okay, I'm getting the blurries again. What is the deal with that? It's all blurry. Okay, that's not blurry. Maybe it's just me that's thinking it's blurry. Okay, let me get one of my 5/16 screws and put it in here. And cinch that down pretty well, or at least get it started. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and start tightening these, and then I'll come back to that. So there's 1 in the front, 2 in the front, 1 in the back, 2 in the back. And now I can tighten my dipstick tube, and I push down on it with the heel of my hand, make sure it's seated real good. Yep, that's snug now. So I like them to be snug. Sometimes they're not, no matter how much you screw it down. So that's all looking good. I've got a new carburetor, so I don't expect it to leak. So now I can bring the tank up. You've got to remember to bring your pull cord through that hole. Otherwise it'll be pinned under there and you can't start your mower. And while I'm thinking about it, I'll go ahead and pull it up to the, handle. Oh, that's excellent compression. Okay, so I got my string in the right place. Now, when I put my vanity cover on, I'm gonna have to take all that cord back off to run it through the vanity cover, but I'm not worried about that right now. That's secure. And I'm gonna go ahead and tighten the tank down with the 3 5/16 shoulder bolts, shoulder screws, these 3 little guys. And then the big one that goes underneath the tank. And I'm missing the little washer, so let me find that. Yeah. You don't want to skip the little washer that fits on the other side of the tank when you put this in here. So you got to put that in there. So the screw's in. Now I'm going to slip the washer on the back of the screw and try to get it started. Get a couple of turns on this thing. That's not going so great. Let's see. Let me get my drill. I use that. If this is fuzzy, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. So, okay, so that's snug. I'm going to back it out now. Just a couple of turns, because I need this loose in case I have to move this around to line up these 5/16. I'm going to get my magnet on a stick here and try and put these in. Get a few turns on that where it stays in place. Hey, that worked. All right. Now I'm going to snug that up a little bit. Not too tight. Now I'm going to do one of the other ones. That's going in better than usual, so that put a few turns on that one. And now a few turns on the one in the back. And now I can actually tighten these. And now I'm going to tighten the one on the bottom. The big one under the tank, 3/8. Okay. Now this all may have to come off if this thing doesn't prime. We'll find out here in a second. But we're almost there. That's all looking good. Everything's snug. Okay, we're gonna come back in a minute because I want this thing not be so fuzzy.